All right, so I'm going to show you how to do Station 8. So you're going to open a web browser and you're just going to type in Web Soil Survey. The first option that comes up is, surprise, surprise, Web Soil Survey. So you're going to click on that. And then you see this big green button, you're going to click on that. Now, what comes up is Web Soil Survey, and it shows all of the regions in the United States where we can look at soil. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in um, under address, under quick navigation, you're going to click address, and you're going to type in Huntington, Indiana. All right, so Huntington, Indiana. Click view, and here is Huntington. Up here, there is this tiny icon that shows a red box and AOI. This indicates area of interest. So you're going to click this. Now you're just going to find any place in Huntington and you're going to draw a box. Doesn't matter what size the box. You don't want it to be too big because then you'll get too much information. So we've defined our area of interest. Now let's find out some information about it. Soil map, this tab, click that. And what's going to come up is a map that shows all the soil map units. See all these weird little squiggly lines with these little legend markers? These are all areas where a soil scientist has dug a soil pit and analyzed the soil there and wrote up all the information that we're about to look at. Now you can look in all these other tabs and find all kinds of information, but for today we're going to stick here. So we're going to choose this first, whatever first map unit comes up. If you scroll over it, it becomes a clickable link. Now you might not have the same one as me, but that's okay. So we're going to click this and it's going to bring up a dialog box. Here we can see that for this particular map unit on this map, we have a blount loam, interlobate moraines, 1 to 4% slopes, eroded, and then it gives you more information as you go down. Whatever your map unit was, you're going to scroll down to parent material. Now your parent material might be different based on where you drew your map, but mine here is Wisconsin till derived from limestone and shale. And if you go back to your lab handout, you'll see that in Station 8, the first thing that it asks about is your hometown, which your hometown might be different, but for the purposes of this activity, we're just going to type in Huntington. Parent material, Wisconsin, oops, Wisconsin, what did it say? Wisconsin till derived from limestone and shale. Okay, so you're going to type that in. What is the age of the parent material? Well, the age is basically, well, it's going to be different for every soil. But in this instance, we're only going to write down Wisconsin. If you have Wisconsin or Illinoisan, then you would write those down. If not, I'm happy to show you where you can find that information. This is one of those tricky parts. But now we're just going to put Wisconsin till. Topography is going to be this information. Basically, if you have any kind of moraine or you're in a back slope, summit, all of these things indicate that there's slope. If it says something like depression or floodplain or a till plain or outwash, then you would say nearly level. But since mine said back slope, I'm going to say sloping. What is the drainage class? Back to our handy dandy information over here. We're going to scroll down until we find drainage class. Now mine is somewhat poorly drained. I'm going to type in somewhat poorly drained. Now, question 6 has to do with the aerial image. So we're going to close this and we're just going to look at the area of interest that we drew. This is full of buildings, but since it's flat and there's grassy areas, I'm going to say that it's prairie. Had my area of interest been over here, then I would call it forested. So I'm going to say prairie. What soil association is the most common in your hometown area? You're going to choose the very first AOI because it's going to be the one with the largest percent coverage. And this very first word that's listed is what you're going to write there. So I'm going to write black. If this had been the first one listed, I would write Glenwood. If this one had been the first word listed, I would write Morley. If this had been the first one listed, I would write Pewamo. If this one had been the first one listed, then I would have written Shoals. You get the idea. Oh, wow. And that is it for Station 8. It's pretty straightforward. You can spend as much time as you want poking around on Soil Web Survey. Um, and if you have any other questions, please feel free to let me know.